Hello and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, India's only daily television platform for small businesses. This year, we are very excited to present you Winning Pitch, brought to you by Wadhwani Foundation, a one-of-its-kind reality TV program for entrepreneurs where India's best and most innovative entrepreneurs come and pitch to the biggest jury and investors. Over 4 parts of the special 5-part series, we've brought to you an in-depth look at the business strategies of each of our 20 shortlisted candidates here on the Western Zone. On tonight's episode, an in-depth personal look at the backstories of the 5 winners who've made it forward to the finale. We will show you the idea and inspiration behind Squaremeal's foods, SURYALOGIX, Higher Pay, Minimac systems and AssessHub. And how these startups are changing the game and making a mark on the startup world. Our first startup, Squaremeal Foods, is a unique restaurant brand that offers mouth-watering and delicious food to customers with the help of its speech and hearing impaired staff. Famous for its food and world-class service, the restaurant aims to provide gainful, sustainable and respectful employment to the speech and hearing impaired across India and beyond through its restaurant chains.
So basically, this was in 2014. Me and my partner Shishir, both of us, we saw a video on Facebook. It was about an Indian guy who started a restaurant in Toronto, and they were employing speech and hearing impaired. Both of us saw the video simultaneously, and then we thought, why not do something like this in India? Because India has got a huge number of speech and hearing impaired and no employment opportunities. So we thought this is a great opportunity for us to do something like this in India. And that was when we thought we'll build about 20 or 25 restaurants across the country in various cities. Squaremeal Foods is basically a restaurant chain, but deep down our vision is basically to provide sustainable employment to about 500 speech and hearing impaired. That's when we would call our mission complete. And every restaurant would employ about 25 speech and hearing impaired. So the moment we open about 20 odd restaurants, 500 people would get employed. And this is not just employed as in just to do work, but it's sustainable livelihood, and it's a long-term livelihood that we'll be creating once and for all.
With a noble and powerful mission in sight, Squaremeal Foods stepped up on stage and managed to become the only startup in the Western Zone to raise an intention to invest from 4 out of 5 jury members.
Squaremeal Foods is basically a restaurant chain. We started it about 4 years ago.
Everybody in this room and those who will watch the show will aspire to be like you. So you should be very proud of it.
If you have a lead investor, do give us an allocation. I would be happy to participate.
Wow.
Being part of Leaders of Tomorrow Winning Pitch has been a very great experience, because we were not sure whether we would make it anywhere, because nowadays it is the age of startups which are working in the area of technology, and they're actually trying to create a new space in terms of new product or new business opportunity. Us being a very, very standardized business, we were really concerned whether we would make it anywhere. It was a pleasant surprise for us to see that the entire jury were overwhelmed with the concept, and the questions were basically about what we are going to do forward and not about whether we are doing it the right way or not. The concept as such was the big seller, and that has given us a lot more confidence, not just about winning the winning pitch in the Leaders of Tomorrow program, but also to take our mission forward much faster and much quicker.
Squaremeal Foods, that started with Mirchi and Mime and Madira and Mime, plans to expand its brand across the country and aims to deliver its unique experience to customers across India.
Our first phase of the plan is we want to set up 20 restaurants, which is basically will provide employment to 500 speech and hearing impaired. Of course, alongside these are running businesses, profitable businesses. So that will be the first phase. After that, we will be also creating a platform for other corporates to follow us, whether it's hospitality industry or any other industry, especially logistics and other hospitality industry has got opportunity to employ speech and hearing impaired. We want to create an example so that several other companies can actually employ speech and hearing impaired staff.
Our next startup, SURYALOGIX, is a homegrown product development company in the electronic and renewable energy sector whose focus is on making solar energy more efficient through their cutting-edge technology.
Before starting SURYALOGIX, we friends were working in the field of solar and doing different kind of works in technology and installations, commissioning and related works. And we find out few pain points in the industry and decided to work out on that in our startup. From college life itself, every engineer dreams to have his own business, and for that we decided to find out some pain points in the solar industry.
SURYALOGIX incorporated in 2018. Before that and before incorporation and after incorporation also, we spent some time for research in the field of solar energy, as we were working for more than 5 years in solar energy. So by our research we observed that there are so many industrial issues in solar monitoring field. That's why we decided to enter in this field, and all other competitors or manufacturers in the monitoring devices are from China or European or American, but no manufacturer was Indian and who caters to the need of Indian market. So that's why we decided to enter in this market.
And we choose the name SURYALOGIX because we are developing some kind of logics in technology through which these pain points which Indian solar industry mostly is facing some issues, and we started, and the response in the market from the initial stage itself is very good, and the giants in the solar industry started approaching us and taking the solutions from us.
With a commitment to innovation and a determination to succeed, SURYALOGIX is changing the industry through its products for solar monitoring.
Our vision is to be a technology development company in solar products. Through technology, we are trying to save the time in solar power plants, to increase the performance by reducing the losses or reducing the downtime of solar power plants, and by indicating, or you can say by pointing out the points where the solar power plants are losing the generation. We are a remote management, or in short a management company who are managing power plants remotely as well as locally through the hardwares and softwares we have developed.
So I would definitely be interested.
Leaders of Tomorrow is a very, I think, memorable experience for us, because we were participating in any type of such type of presentation or event was the first time, and the response we got from investor and juries were beyond our imagination.
So Leaders of Tomorrow was a great experience for us, and during the main event we learnt a lot from the jury during the live event, during the question answer sessions and presentations as well, even not only in the technology domain but the commercials, how startup has to grow, how they have to calculate their valuations and approach the investors to grow and expand in the future. All that experience was tremendous for us, and we can, in short, we can say a good platform for startups like SURYALOGIX to interact with industry experts and the startups.
startup HirePay is an equipment rental ecosystem which aims to bring in transparency, accuracy and pilferage-free billing through the use of technology. Founded by Satish Burange, HirePay, with the help of its core team, aims to reach the next level to disrupt the equipment rental business once and for all.
HirePay is world's first equipment rental ecosystem that is built to bring in pilferage-free billing. It is a simple mobile application where an end user can not only get the estimate but also get the exact consumption of, through IoT, they can get the exact consumption of how much the asset has actually run and get instant billing on the spot. The idea came about 5 years ago when I was doing the equipment rental business. I was doing it offline and I realized there's a big gap between the person who rent out the equipment and the person who hires the equipment. There's a big gap and there's a big disconnect between both of them. And then usually that gap is filled by an on-field officer or a field officer or an auditor or a mukadam. In what they do is they take an undue advantage of that dependency and they try and do a markups on if so. For example, if the generator is hired for 8 hours, they will try and do like 12 hours shift or 16 hours and keep the markup money in their pocket. So this costs both the guy who hires the equipment and the guy who is renting the equipment. What I realized that why not remove this middleman from in between and use a technology instead of depending it on the human.
Failure is an inevitable stepping stone for a startup. Listen to what Satish Burange has to say about his personal journey from a DJ to the founder of HirePay.
So I started my career as a disc jockey and when I was DJing, I realized that there was not enough money which I was getting paid. So as a side business, I bought some sound system and I bought some lights which I used to rent out for small parties and events. That was giving me my additional income. And as I started growing, I started renting out a sound system to events, shows, and then later I worked with Reliance Media Works where I was taking care of their equipment rental division for broadcast cameras and the event shows. And that's how, so the whole background came from equipment rental I've been doing for almost 18 years. Then we started developing our own hardware and there was a lot of glitches, there was a lot of failure. We were doing trial and error. So about a year ago, when we met Reliance Jio, that's when Jio said that they have a similar technology and they said we can use that technology to build upon our app. So the telemetrics device that we use is built with Jio. And we partnered with Jio as our IoT partners.
HirePay managed to impress our jury with its pitch, leading to the company being crowned one of the winners of the Western Zone.
I was working here as a resident disc jockey, and now today I'm here sharing my business idea. I'm so overwhelmed. After winning the competition, things have changed so much. I mean, especially my clients' perception about our idea. So Zee Television, who was one of our first clients, their perception of idea when I go and now tell about people that we are the winner of the Leaders of Tomorrow winning pitch. Earlier for them, this was one of the startup which was struggling to do something. But after winning this recognition, their perception has changed and now people have started to believe more. And I think my sales has now become more easier, especially more than my client, my father, who's been, who also doesn't come from technology background. He comes from a very humble typical Maharashtrian family, and for him, I should be working, doing a job, and he thought that at this age, I should not be starting up something, which has no background, no financial backup. So, and he was sitting there when I was doing the pitch, and I could see in his eyes that when he saw me pitching and winning that competition, his perception has changed, which is the most important for me, and his belief in me has made a huge difference.
Our next startup, Minimac Systems, is focused on designing and creating more efficient systems for industrial machines. The managing director of Minimac Systems, Anshuman Agrawal, believes in a young and dynamic work culture that empowers people to be innovative.
Minimac offers products related to oil purification and contamination control in hydraulic fluids. Let me take an analogy from the water purification industry. Today, the industry stands at $1 billion USD for the Indian market. Coming to our lubrication industry, it stands at 1.35 billion USD in India itself, and it's growing at a CAGR of 5 to 10%. The lubrication consumption depends on 50% due to lube oil changes in the machineries. Minimac offers products which would be extending the life cycle of lubricating oil, thereby increasing the lifespan of the oil and reducing the oil consumption. We have a strong engineering team at Minimac. We understand the pain points of our clients, and based on that, we deliver our solutions, and hence our motto, discern, design, deliver. We as a team at Minimac Systems dream about Minimac to be not just a collaborator, but also a disruptor to the lubrication industry. We would like to make India an independent machinery country, where we not just manufacture machines for our indigenous market, but also for the export market. The most important asset at Minimac is our team. We believe a lot in the youth empowerment, and hence we have around 40 to 50% of our team members who belong to the age bracket of 21 to 25. We focus a lot on training and employee valuation. We provide a lot of trainings to our employees, and we also believe in environmental safety and human life safety in the organization.
Because the industries what we are serving, basically they will get a good return on investment. At the same time, the productivity cost will go down, the production cost will go down for them.
Leaders of Tomorrow Winning Pitch was a great event. The interaction with the jury during the pitch delivery session was a great learning experience. Even the networking session post the event was quite successful for a few of us. I believe apart from Minimac, the other contestants have learned a lot, and it was a great motivation and inspiration for all of us. We are looking forward for the finale in March 2020. We are gearing up with our preparations. We are revisiting and reframing our pitch for the event based on the learnings what we had during the session at Mumbai.
AssessHub, a final winner of the Western Zone, is a skill assessment and predictive analytics platform that helps companies make the right hiring decisions, helping them save huge amounts of money in the process. Amit, Desai, the co-founder of the company, speaks about the initial germ of the idea for AssessHub.
AssessHub is a skill assessment and a predictive analytics platform. We basically help companies predict future performance of an individual even before they make a hiring decision. So what we do is we run a series of assessments which are functional, technical, cognitive and behavioral in nature, and we use the organization's existing talent data to make future prediction on how well somebody will do on the job even before the company decides to hire. The journey of AssessHub is extremely personal to us. It started 5 years ago. It is between me and my co-founder Twinkle. Back then I used to run an HR services firm that I used to run for 5 years, and Twinkle used to run a business intelligence and an analytics firm for a period of 7 years. So she was doing her own startup and I was doing mine. And we always used to look at this problem in terms of everybody that we ever met would always complain about not being able to identify the right talent. And that is when it really struck us that we can use Twinkle's expertise in terms of processing data and creating analytical models, and my domain expertise in HR to build a platform that will help companies predict future performance using their own talent data. So this is where we decided that let's solve this problem once and for all, and that's where we started up AssessHub. But believe me, life is different once it actually pans out. You encounter newer problems every single day, and you got to find a solution without compromising on your model. Every time we go to a newer customer, they have a newer set of requirements which fundamentally changes the scope of the product. So this entire journey of building a product which is applicable to a mass set of companies has been personally really learning for us, and it's enlightened us in many ways. What we've learned is that the valuable lesson on a personal side is that if you stick to it and if you believe in the product, it eventually comes around and you're able to build something so beautiful that it is easily accepted by the world.
All winners have seen a huge impact on their bottom line after being declared winners on Winning Pitch, brought to you by Wadhwani Foundation. Take a listen to the co-founder of AssessHub, Amit Desai, as he speaks about his experience on Leaders of Tomorrow's Winning Pitch.
After this whole thing was over, the first thing that came to our mind was a belief that yes, we can do it. So we are now preparing for the nationals, and we are going to give our best shot to see that we put up a good show there. But with this, we've had two interest in investment from the Leaders of Tomorrow Winning Pitch. So we are already having conversations with that, and hopefully we'll close both of them. And it has also given us a good exposure in terms of a belief system that the product is really good and has a market acceptance. So we're going to go hard and stronger in the coming years to make it even more successful.
That's all we have on the Western Zone round of the Winning Pitch, brought to you by Wadhwani Foundation. Next week, we're back on air with the 20 shortlisted candidates of the Southern Zone. Who has made it forward, who has not? What did our jury have to say to them? All of that coming up. Do stay tuned. For tonight, it's a wrap. Thanks for watching.